Hey guys, JR Chunks 21 here. So, this is kind of a rant video, kind of a other kind of video going on for you guys. And hold on one second, I'm just messing with my TV. Shout out to Alternate History Hub, though I doubt they'll hear about this. They did this video before I did, and I'm going to get further into detail on this information. And this is nowhere near concrete fact. This is just what I have noticed and what I've researched into. Now, Alternate History Hub talked about why we see so many mass shootings here in America. And why the media, I don't want to say loves it, but they like it. Now, the reason the media trying to figure out how to phrase this without it being slanderous or nasty. The reason the media jumps the ball on mass shootings is because it's a tragedy. And they make money on their views. It's just like YouTube. They love advertiser revenue. And that's why you'll see these media talk about mass shootings for months on end. It's because it's profitable to them. Why is it profitable? Well, I recommend you go check out Alternate History Hub's video. They discuss how this happened, kind of the history of it, and all that other stuff. But why does the media like it? Why does the media show a lot of tragic stories? Sorry, I had to get a drink of lemonade. The reason is, we as humans have evolved. We kind of don't like happy stories. We don't like to hear the story of the cop or the fireman who saved a little puppy dog. We like to watch that story and we feel happy, but we don't tune in to hear more info on that. We don't follow that. And news sources know that, so they'll tell a tragedy. For instance, my local media, WRAL, here in North Carolina, talked about the Texas shooting. They talked about the teachers here in North Carolina walking out and going to Raleigh to protest. They talked about a fire that killed a bunch of people. They talked about some shootings. And then finally at the end, this was yesterday's news. I actually watched it, which is odd for me because I don't normally watch media. I research things because I don't like the bias involved in the media. I don't like hearing about tragedies. I don't like hearing just one side of the coin. So, the media likes tragedy because it's profitable. You will tune in to keep hearing the story. You'll tune in for more information. I even find myself doing it. I always look up information relating to a tragic case that hit close to home, because I want to know what's going on with it. It's sad, but it's true. We as humans prefer tragedy. We will follow tragedy. We won't follow the happy story of the puppy and the kitten getting along and loving each other. In 2 weeks, no one will remember that the royal family got married, because it's happy. Unless one of them dies or something big happens, it'll be off everyone's mind. In 2 weeks, unless you live in England, maybe. But here in America, it'll be off everyone's mind, because we get one good story out of that, and yeah, they'll get ratings for that, but they won't get continued ratings. People will tune in for this story alone, and then once that story ends, they're all gone. Do I agree with the fact that these people profit off a tragedy? No. Should you show the face of the killer? No. Should you give his motives, his background? Should you even talk to students or anyone after a shooting? No. For multiple reasons. Let's go into the big ones. One, you're profiting off of their misery, their sadness, and you're a piece of shit for it. Two, you're not going to get a honest, level-headed answer. You have added a massive stressor to these people. They've been shot at, their friends have been shot or killed. They're not going to be rational. And you're profiting off of that. Look at the Parkland shooting. These students all want to say never again. And therefore they want guns to be banned. Now I'm not going to touch on this because it's not my business to be political. Not long after that, a school who walked out with the Parkland crew, who did protest with them, had a school shooting here in Texas, here in the U.S. and Texas. The killer, we're hearing conflicting reports that he was quiet, that he was bullied, that he wore a trench coat every day. The thing is, why would this happen? Well, should be kind of obvious. He saw the story of Parkland, he saw that shooter's story, and he got disenfranchised. He was already disenfranchised. And this is just me piecing it together from previous shootings and from what's happening and what I think is going on. He's already disenfranchised, cut off from all of his peer group. That already puts him down a path that that is incredibly hard to recover from. Now you add this guy getting idolized for what he did. And not idolized as in a good way. This is infamy. But his name will still be remembered. That's what people don't understand. Whether you say you don't or you do, subconsciously and sometimes consciously, you want to be known. You want people to know you. You want people to know who you are. And the media covering all of this is giving the wrong message. Again, alternate history, I've already touched on this. And the only reason I'm touching on it is because I've always been a preacher of don't listen to the media. If you watch the news, good. You enjoy the news. But go and research. And of course, for every sad story they tell, look up a funny or a happy one. The media makes their money off of tragedy, and that is sickening. It's like Logan Paul with his Forest video. Except they're getting away with it, and they're doing it every day of their lives. And it's sick. And I would love to have the platform to get change circulating and get all of you guys to write a letter to your local media station about why this is wrong, why they need to stop. Instead of 15 sad stories and one happy story, give us 15 happy and one sad. Because sad stories, you shouldn't be making your money off of. You should be making your money off of the happiness, the joy of humanity. Humanity is a unique thing in the universe. And that is a firm belief. Not only do we have the propensity and the ability to find new ways to harm and even kill each other, but we have the ability to show unwavering love for each other. I grew up in Indiana, and not long ago in Indiana, a couple years, 10 or so, I'm not sure, there was a massive incident where a big gust of wind came through and destroyed our big expo stage at our fairgrounds. You guys might have heard about this. There were people pinned, people in severe pain, and we as Hoosiers helped them out. We as Hoosiers helped each other. And that happened here, that happens everywhere. But you'll see the media report that once, and then they'll wait for something else in that story to go wrong. For instance, for that, a couple years later, they reported on it that the person who built the stage used shitty materials. And they milked that story. The sad stuff. They didn't milk the happiness. They didn't milk the story of these people recovering. If they did touch on the people recovering from their injuries, it was with an added caveat of tragedy so people can make money. The media makes their money off of two emotions we as humans feel: sadness and anger. All of your police shootings of unarmed black men. Now, I'm not saying all of them are unarmed, or all of them were armed. I'm just saying that's always how the story goes. They're unarmed. They're not threatening. He had a pipe, but he was unarmed. He didn't have a gun. I hate to tell you this. A pipe is a weapon. But I'll touch on that later. The issue is these stories are deliberately, they'll wipe parts of the story out. They won't cover part of them. And the headline will be to draw your attention and your anger. Because if you're angry, you want to know everything so you can write letters, protest, or, God forbid, try to harm someone who has a wife and kids at home, who has a family that loves them. The media makes their money on two things: anger and sadness. Your happiness is, they might make a little bit of money on that, but for the most part, it's sadness and anger. And it's sickening. And it needs to stop. We as humans do not need to feel anger and sadness all the time. We need to be happy. We live, even here in America, whether you love the current landscape of politics or whatever, you live in a great country. Just look back at some of the worst places in the world. You could live in the Congo, which, of course, is going through a civil war. You could live in Syria. I'm sure all of the people there are happy if they're safe. But look, be happy with what you have. You have something. If you're able to watch this, you have the internet. You have a way to communicate with others. Use it to find help. Use it to find friends. I have. But above all else, for those of you guys who do watch this, please write your local media station. Tell them to take a chance. Show more happiness. Show more happy stories. Tell the story of the kitten who played with the puppy dog. Happy stories may not make the kind of money a tragedy or an angry story does, but they leave your viewer with one thing that those don't: happiness and faith in its fellow man. Hope you guys enjoyed this short little video, and feel free to leave a like if you did. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Share the video with your friends. Get the word out that we need to change the way the media presents these videos.